Welcome back to the Fox 61 Morning News. Right now you are taking a live look throughout the state. Look at that beautiful, beautiful sunrise there. You're watching the Fox 61 Morning News. Glad you could be with us on this Sunday morning. I'm Aisha Bowen. Right now we will get to your top headlines here in just a moment, but we want to get you a look at your forecast with Tim Levine. He's standing by right now with a check of what you may feel or what it might be like when you step outside of the door. Good morning, Tim.
Picture says 1,000 words, right? Well, that's the picture we're going to be seeing across a lot of areas today, mostly rural communities in the state. Anywhere near farmland, probably going to see quite a bit of fog. Also, Danbury seeing a lot of fog at the moment, at least according to current visibility stats. Also seeing the possibility of showers on not only Monday, but Wednesday as well. Danbury, really the big story here in terms of fog, socked in fog, 3/4 visibility. So if you're looking to go, or 3/4 mile visibility, if you're going down I-84 heading towards New York, or if you're coming in from New York, of course, if you're coming in from New York, probably not watching us at the moment, but you can watch us on the app, not while you're driving. Either way, going to be quite a bit of fog. Take it a little bit slower out there. Also, a few areas that did see fog this morning already up near Middletown, Portland, heading down in the middle field, down to Middlesex County. We're going to be looking for more fog there, especially in rural areas. I know there was a lot of fog last night in the fields near the Durham Fairgrounds, where a lot of people were parking. And it's a cool night tonight, so it's not surprising to see temps have gotten down pretty close to the dew point at this point. And it's been very dry, so temps really cooled down. One of the coldest nights we've had in quite some time. Seeing a couple low 40s in there, Willimantic and Salisbury. Also a little cooler just to the north of Willimantic and Stafford. It's 43 right now. That coming in from Jeff from Staffordville. He's seeing some very cool conditions. Also down by the shoreline right around the lower 50s or so. Northerly breezes still keeping things quite cool, keeping that dry air in place. We're going to see more of that north wind today as we see high pressure begin to shift off to our north and east, allowing for a little bit of cloud later on. No real cloud to speak of, just a couple of clouds moving into Danbury area. And if you look at right behind me there, you probably blink and miss it at this point, but there is a little bit of high cloud that's moving through. Nothing to worry about. Lots of sun throughout the day today. We'll see increasing clouds later on into the afternoon. We'll see temps around the upper 60s by 5 p.m. Most of us will get into the upper 60s today. A couple 70s are possible. Other than that, though, an absolutely gorgeous day to end the weekend. We'll be talking about rainfall coming from Monday and Wednesday in my full forecast. Aisha?
Tim, thank you. A scary Facebook post circulating in one Connecticut community. You may have seen the post popping up on your news feeds. It warns of a stranger danger and possible kidnapping attempt. But as Fox 61's chief investigator, Brian Foley, reports, the post was not what it seemed, and police have something to say about it.
For police departments, the block watches and community meetings of years past are being replaced by social media neighborhood pages, and it's important for police to pay attention to them, as rumors and false information can cause things to get out of control.
Well, what I saw was a grandmother posting a warning to people about her grandchildren being attacked, so she thought. She was really hyping it up, and it created a lot of panic on the page.
This post on the What's Happening in Naugatuck Facebook page was shared over 2,300 times. The post says two men jumped out of a white van and chased two girls after they got off their school bus. The post describes the men as human traffickers. Naugatuck police investigated the incident on Wednesday.
For lack of a better term of what happened, I think they walked by the vehicle. I think that their awareness was up, which is good. As kids, we want them to be aware of their surroundings and what's going on, and it generally did scare them. But as far as an actual trying to be abducted, there wasn't too much to be able evidence that we had there to be able to support that was in fact whatever the parties in the van were trying to do. They may have just been stopped trying to get out, but we're not ruling it out at this point.
Going beyond the investigation, Naugatuck police saw what was being spread on Facebook and quickly posted the facts about the incident.
It was worded in a way that it created a little bit of panic in the community here. So we first wanted to kind of dispel some of the information that was put in there that while initially I think that may have been what they feared happened, wasn't actually the case.
While neighborhood pages can be very helpful for residents, users should be cautious.
I also think that social media sometimes can exaggerate and amplify the panic for people in situations like this.
The Naugatuck police are very active on social media, and their quick response helped to quell the panic. Brian Foley, Fox 61 News.
And switching gears right now, the Community Health Services Center hosted their annual free dental clinic in Hartford yesterday. Dentists treating 500 patients between the hours of 8 and 4. Take a look here. The Community Health Services Center offers all kinds of services, from simple cleanings to extractions, x-rays, and cavity fillings. It's a busy but worthwhile day for the center and volunteers.
We have people who come in covering their mouth, and by the time they're walking out with a bright smile. So, you know, we're feeling great that we're here this morning.
The clinic costs about $30,000 every year, and they do accept donations. If you want to help out, donations can be made at chshartford.org. And Saturday made for a beautiful day to enjoy the fall weather at the Hartford River Walk, where the 20th annual Head of the River Walk Regatta kicked off. Take a look here. 3,000 athletes from as far as Texas gathered in the capital city for the annual race, and 10,000 spectators came out to watch them. The event is held by Riverfront Recapture, and more than 300 volunteers helped coordinate it.
A lot of volunteers and a really sophisticated team that puts together a regatta. This takes weeks and weeks and weeks to plan. We're thrilled to have almost 3,000 athletes on the water, 600 boats that'll be going up and down the Connecticut River.
University won this year's regatta for the men, while UConn took home first for the women. And happening today, a special ceremony to honor a fallen soldier who received the Medal of Honor a few weeks ago. The Medal of Honor ceremony taking place in Washington, D.C., with President Donald Trump bestowing the highest honor to Master Sergeant John Chapman's family. Chapman was from Windsor Locks, and today there will be a special ceremony dedicating a new memorial monument to remember his life and heroic service. Town officials say his passing has brought the community together in a time where so many are being pulled apart.
I think it's brought our whole community together, and you could see that when we started talking about the event. People were coming out of everywhere and wanting to be part of it. So, you know, you hear about all the divisiveness going around. This event is bringing all of us together to honor John, but also to honor our veterans, which I think is really important.
For more information on the event set for today, you can head over to our website, FOX61.com. And also happening today, catch all the latest in your local politics this morning on The Real Story. Fox 61's Al Terzi and Jen Bernstein sitting down with independent candidate Oz Griebel after participating in his first debate of the post-primary season after being excluded from the first two. You can catch that interview and much more. Just stay tuned to Fox 61. The Real Story with Al and Jen starts this morning at 10 a.m. And still to come, axe throwing has become a popular activity across the country and right here in Connecticut. In this morning's Work in CT, we will show you how and where you can get in on the action. Tim.
And a little bit of fog popping up across the state. We're going to be seeing our visibilities affected this morning, so a little bit of caution as you head out on the roads. We'll talk about all that coming up in your forecast. Stay with us.
Hey everybody, I am right in the heart of Connecticut today in Marlborough at Chateau Laguerre, having a great time for one of my favorite organizations, the Huntington's Disease Society of America. They're having a different event. Usually we do walks for them, but this one is called Music on the Vine. And it's a fundraiser where they've got wine, they've got food, they've got music, and it's all family friendly, so they're happy. I brought Carrie, I brought RJ here too, and I mentioned food. About lobster, about ice cream sandwiches and cookies. It's great. I mean, that's all I needed to come, but just to be able to help a cause like this. Huntington's disease does not get nearly the amount of attention that it should, and that's why anytime I can help to raise awareness for just this terrible disease and everything that we need to do to be able to fight it and raise money to fight it, I am happy to help, so I'm happy to be here today.
This morning's Work in CT, while crossing off another item on your CT fall bucket list, axe throwing has become a craze across the country, including right here in Connecticut. Fox 61's Amanda Rouse tried her hand to see if she could hit a bullseye.
Ready, aim, throw. At Montana Knight's axe throwing in Newington, it's all
different, you know, like it's not just the same old. I'm sure once winter sets in, you know, now that it's fall, it's getting cold out, perfect activity.
Owner Owner Merle McKenzie sure hopes so. He got on the axe throwing bandwagon earlier, introducing it first in some of the gyms he owns.
So a couple years ago, I saw the trend come across social media about axe throwing bars in Canada, and I thought it'd be fun to do with our members. So I had a member build me a target, and I bought some axes and failed miserably at it. It never really took off with our group, and I just think I didn't push it hard enough.
A year later, he saw another post for axe throwing bars in the U.S. That's when he decided to open up in Newington, creating a space that he says is family friendly, great for private parties, or just a night out with friends.
We're the only licensed alcohol sell axe bar in the state at the moment.
The only thing left, a lesson from the lead expert himself.
So you're going to put your dominant hand on top.
Okay.
Put your other hand on the bottom, and you're not going to clasp your hand. So one on top of the other like that. Almost like you're shooting a baseball, right?
Okay. Knowing I had Jimmy Altman's throw to live up to.
I'm not following through.
After many tries.
So lean back. Yes!
The sweet feeling of success.
If you want to try your hand at axe throwing, we have all of the hours for Montana Nights up on our website, FOX61.com. In Newington, Amanda Rouse, Fox 61 News.
And if you have a business or a story you think we should feature, email us at workinct@fox61.com. Tell us what makes Connecticut great using the hashtag CTConfident. We want to hear from you. And Dave & Buster's is expanding in our state with its newest location at the Connecticut Post Mall in Milford. And with that new location comes 200 jobs. According to the company's website, the restaurant and arcade is set to open in November, and it's looking for 200 people to join its team. Positions range from bartender to host, and for more on the positions available, just head over to the Dave & Buster's career page. 6:46 right now. We want to get a check of your forecast on this Sunday morning. Meteorologist Tim Levine is standing by right now with what you can expect. Good morning, Tim.
Yeah, quite a bit of fog across our area this morning. In fact, we're talking about the potential for fog throughout most of the morning, especially in rural locations and areas that aren't really traveled all that much around the state. Also a possibility of a few showers on Monday, and we're going to be feeling like fall heading into next weekend. So we got quite a bit of areas that are seeing fog. At this point, a lot of the recording sites still showing high visibility. Danbury, though, pretty socked in fog. And also off to the north and to the west, the east here, seeing quite a bit of fog as well. I've also heard that there's been quite a few places that are also seeing fog, especially in Middlesex County. This is in Middletown. Look at that, right down there along the riverfront and also into the area. So quite a bit of fog across the area, and a lot of the rural fields and such also seeing quite a bit of fog. You know, it's funny, farm fields and farmland, areas where you see a lot of crops being put, you see quite a bit of fog there, also because of the high moisture content of the soil. Now, last night was a perfect night for generating fog, and what I mean by that is it was clear all night. Winds were calm, so that takes all of the radiation from the earth that we saw, radiation from the solar radiation we saw, leaves the earth and exits the atmosphere in the form of infrared radiation. And because of that, you get big time cooling throughout our area. And because of that, we're seeing temperatures right around the lower 40s up into northeastern and northwestern Connecticut. It's 47 in Hartford right now, 51, 54 in Bridgeport, 51 in New Haven. So a pretty chilly morning for most of us. Calm winds all around, which means we continue to see this cooling continue all the way until we get the sun to come up. And we might have another couple degrees shaved off here. So a couple areas going to be flirting with the 30s. Don't worry, we won't get there. We'll probably stay in the low 40s across most of the region. A couple high clouds, and also noticing a little bit of moisture up near Binghamton here, and some high clouds that are moving eastward. This is a storm system that's going to stay well north of our area, but eventually the front associated with this will be draped across our area for Monday, and that's going to unfortunately create a bit of a showery Monday for us. Today, though, beautiful. 63 by noon. Picture perfect outside. Lots of sun. Couple clouds later on in the afternoon. So if you're heading out trying to get something done, don't worry. You have no worries in terms of any type of rainfall or anything like that. The only thing that you do have to worry about, a couple of clouds later on, maybe some fog tomorrow morning as well. But it should be a nice day today. We'll top out in the upper 60s across most of the region. Probably going to eke out a few 70s, especially in valley locations. Lots of dry air in place, so we're going to warm up very quickly today. Whenever you have that dry air, it doesn't take a lot of solar radiation to warm dry air up as opposed to moist air. So we're going to see big temperature swings across the area today. Clouds late, and then eventually we see more clouds heading into Monday morning. And then because of that, we'll also be seeing temperatures staying a little bit cooler as a result, especially up into the northern parts of the state where we might get the chance for a few rain showers that'll move through the region. So big swings in temperature tomorrow along the shoreline, middle 70s, up into parts of the valley and up into parts of the inland parts of the state. We'll likely see temps right around the mid 60s to lower 60s throughout the day. We'll cool down heading into the evening. And then, of course, by Tuesday, we see more potential for rainfall working into the area. Latest run of the GFS just came in, and this is sort of agreeing with the latest RPM forecast that you're looking at right here. So I'm thinking the timing's getting pushed up. Instead of Wednesday, where we were talking about rain showers, now we're more talking Tuesday evening heading into the overnight parts of Wednesday. So we've shifted the 7-day as a result. Rain late on Tuesday, showers and cloudiness on Wednesday, but really the bulk of the rain coming in on Tuesday. After that, we see mostly sunny conditions through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The weekend looking absolutely beautiful. The shoreline, though, a little bit warmer in most locales. 72 on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, again, not exactly the best days. I figure after about 3 p.m. on Tuesday, it's just about a washout. So unfortunately, not much to get done on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, though, we can make up for it. Like I said, the pick of the week, tunnel vision-wise, Friday and Saturday. Heading into next weekend, those are probably the best 2 days.
Okay, so just get through the week and hold on. The weekend will be better and a perfect time to cross some fall bucket list items.
Yeah, good plans.
There you go, fall weather. Fall bucket list items. They go hand in hand.
Also, you know, go out and enjoy some of the fairs today. Lots of fun food.
Yes, I plan on hitting up the Apple Southington. Yep, I will be there.
I was at the Durham Fair last night. Always a
fun
staple
time.
of going on Saturday. Scotty McCreery sounded awesome. Awesome on the Durham Fair stage last night.
All right. And every week we send Sean Pagano out to find the best eats in Connecticut. Of course, we are talking about Foodie Friday. So where are we headed next week for Foodie Friday?
Well, the Fox 61 morning team broke out the trusty crock pot to pick our next spot to find some good food. And there's a lot of good spots. Check it out.
Where are we going for Foodie Friday? We are going to Suffield.
Suffield.
Up on the Mass border.
So if you have any suggestions for some good eats in Suffield, let us know. Download the Fox 61 News app and click on Fox 61 Morning News and submit those ideas. You can also message us on Facebook and on Twitter as well. All right, 6:51 right now, and still to come on the Fox 61 Morning News. A lot to get to. We'll explain more on Elon Musk and that tweet that is now costing him millions. We'll be right back. We are getting a sneak peek at what Tom Hanks will look like when he portrays Mr. Rogers in an upcoming movie. Take a look here. On Thursday, Sony Pictures released a photograph showing Mr. Hanks all decked out as the beloved children's television show host. The Oscar-winning actor is shown wearing Rogers' signature red sweater and a dress shirt and a tie, tan slacks, and sneakers. Production on the biographical drama began this month. Its working title is You Are My Friend. The film is based on the true story of the friendship between Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood host and journalist Tom Junod. The film hits theaters next year on October 19th. That picture all over the internet. So a lot of folks looking forward to that movie there. And Elon Musk reaches an agreement with the CEC to settle the agency's fraud lawsuit. Tesla CEO and the electric car company itself will split a $40 million payment to the Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, if you recall, this is in response to the CEC charging Musk with fraud after a tweet he sent out in August suggesting he would be taking the company private. His tweet also named a price of $420 share, well above the company's stock price at the time, a quote, false and misleading statement that duped investors. In addition, Musk will step down as chairman of Tesla for at least 3 years, but will stay on as chief executive officer. And actor Kevin Spacey is facing a sexual assault lawsuit. A masseur in California says Spacey attacked him 2 years ago in a Malibu home during a private massage. The suit seeks unspecified monetary damages. Representatives for Spacey did not immediately comment or respond to a request for those comments. Since 2017, dozens of men have come forward with allegations against the former House of Cards actor. Spacey has been dropped from multiple roles in television and film. And still to come, protests continue for and against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. We will bring you the latest from Washington. Make sure you stay around for that. And Facebook still dealing with a major data breach affecting millions of users. See how you can protect your personal information. Tim.
A little foggy this morning across parts of the area. We're going to tell you exactly where and also when you can expect more rain in your forecast. Stay with us. You're watching the Fox 61 Morning News.
The Fox 61 Morning News starts now.
Right now at 7, protests continue to grow both for and against Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh as he faces sexual assault allegations from multiple women. And in light of those allegations, President Trump calls for an FBI investigation. But what exactly could it reveal? Fox 61's Ben Goldman talks to a local expert. And meanwhile, here at home, a police chase ends in Rocky Hill, but that's not where things all started. More on the wild events involving 3 different towns. But on a lighter note here, we want to start your day with a live look here throughout the state. As you can see, the sun peeking through. It's looking a little bit foggy earlier. Will that fog linger? Tim Levine is standing by with that answer. But first, we want to say good morning to you and thank you so much for choosing the Fox 61 Morning News. I'm Aisha Bowe. Let's head straight over to Tim right now with a check of your forecast on this Sunday morning. Good morning.
It has been a foggy morning in some spots around the area. Already seeing the numbers coming down on our visibility graphics. And also, something we're keeping an eye on is the potential for showers and also some cooler fall type weather coming into the area heading into next weekend. Current visibilities around the area showing some very dense fog in Danbury. Quarter-mile visibility at this point. So if you guys are in Danbury heading down the I-84 corridor, heading up towards parts of New Haven County, again, take it very slowly. This dense fog, of course, will create some travel woes for you as you're heading out this morning. Also, seeing numbers coming down in Meriden and Norwalk. Now 9-mile visibility and 7-mile visibility in Meriden. Indications that the fog is going to be getting a little bit thicker. Also up into the northeastern parts of the state between Stafford and Killingly, seeing some fog there that's beginning to develop, probably about 3 to 4 mile visibility there right near the Tolland-Windham County line. So we're going to monitor that pretty closely, but I expect that by the end of the morning, we're going to be seeing some areas here that are going to be seeing some locally dense fog. Current temps, chilly to say the least. 43 in Windsor Locks right now, 42 in Salisbury. So a real chilly morning, and it's because we had all of this clear skies last night, very dry air, and also the fact that we have a lot of calm wind really allows that radiation, that solar radiation from the day to escape the Earth's atmosphere and really cool things down. A process called radiational cooling happens a lot in the fall and happens very efficiently in the fall. Here, across the rest of the region, though, we're not going to be seeing much in the way of wind, especially in the central parts of the state. I expect this shoreline breeze will continue throughout the day, maybe get a little stronger, right around 10 miles per hour sustained. But again, winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the north are expected all throughout the day. Satellite and radar, all quiet, going to remain all quiet throughout the rest of the afternoon today, with a few clouds popping up later on in the afternoon. Temperatures likely around the upper 60s, especially around 5 p.m. I think between 12 and 5 p.m. we'll see temps top out right around 70 degrees or so. So we'll continue to monitor that pretty closely. Aisha?
All right, Tim, thank you. And now to the latest in the wake of this week's emotional testimony on Capitol Hill. Demonstrators are making their voices heard nationwide on their objections to Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Fox News correspondent Jeff Paul has that story.
We believe! We believe!
As the FBI investigates allegations of sexual misconduct against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, protesters take to the streets across the country, galvanized by this week's fiery testimony on Capitol Hill from Kavanaugh and his accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford.
Vote them out! Vote them out!
Activists marching in cities nationwide saying they're concerned about the message sent by putting Kavanaugh on the high court.
We're going to create the boys will be boys. We're going to let that go on if we don't stop it. And we're also going to keep girls saying, well, I guess we just have to put up with this.
In Maine, demonstrators showed up in force outside the office of Republican Senator Susan Collins, believed to be a potential swing vote in the confirmation process.
It's kind of the end of the court protecting women, and I'm disgusted by her in particular.
After the nation was gripped by the emotional testimony on Capitol Hill this week, Americans are still deeply divided on who to believe.
She was so believable and so honest and so real.
He should be confirmed. He's a fair-minded man.
Whether Kavanaugh is ultimately confirmed or voted down, it's sure to carry huge consequences for the upcoming midterm elections. Jeff Paul, Fox News.
I think it would be proper to delay the floor vote for up to but not more than 1 week in order to let the FBI continue to do an investigation.
And President Donald Trump agreeing with Arizona Senator Jeff Flake and ordering an FBI probe into his Supreme Court justice nominee. Now, there's still a lot of questions surrounding what that new FBI investigation into Brett Kavanaugh will entail and what and if any new information could come out of it. In a Fox 61 exclusive, Ben Goldman talked to a former FBI agent to get his insight.
Michael Clark is a former FBI special agent, and he currently is a professor at the University of New Haven. We spoke on a wide range of topics together following the Kavanaugh hearings. I asked Clark about this new reopened investigation. President Trump has now approved the FBI to conduct it, and there was already an extensive background check into Judge Kavanaugh. So will the members of the Senate Judiciary Committee be given any new information at the end of this 1 week investigation?
It may be innocuous information, but they're able to take the statements that have already been made, and now they can ask follow-up questions. And I'll give you a quick example. With Dr. Ford, one of the questions that should have been asked and would be asked by an agent would be, well, how did you know Mr. Kavanaugh? You know, how well did you know him? How many parties had you been with him in the past? Had you socialized with him in the past? And so you can really drill down much deeper than you get on a 5-minute spiel on TV.
He went on to say that although the investigation is only a week long, they already have planned on this. He believes agents are already in the field working, and the director of the FBI will be working hands-on for the entire week. Over the course of the hearings, we've heard the term 302 form used quite a bit. Clark explains what one of those forms is used for.
It would be like you summarizing our conversation in a document. And that's exactly what the agents will do. They'll do a 3-hour interview, and they'll write up a 3- or 4-page document that is a summary of the statements of the witness.
Lastly, we heard the FBI will not be giving the Senate Judiciary Committee or the full Senate any recommendations after they've completed their week-long investigation. So what happens at the end of the week once all of the agents have completed their interviews with any and all witnesses?
They're going to take of the binder of those 302 interviews, and they're going to present that to the Judiciary Committee or to the full Senate, and they're going to say, here is our information, this is what we found. It's up to you to make, any further steps or any further recommendations.
No doubt this is a new week-long investigation, and it's the top priority for all members of the FBI. And Clark told me the goal for the FBI is to talk to as many people, new witnesses, including Mark Judge, and then talk to new witnesses based on those testimonies and build the investigation as much as possible before handing over those 302 summaries to the Senate by next week. I'm Ben Goldman, Fox 61 News.
And much more to come from Washington in the coming days. You can expect more continuing coverage on the confirmation process for Brett Kavanaugh here on air, as well as online and on the Fox 61 News app. And switching gears right now, a carjacking in Glastonbury spans across 2 other cities. A newspaper delivery driver robbed overnight. That driver, who delivers papers for the Hartford Courant, told police he was approached by 2 men with handguns who then took his car. It happened around 4 o'clock Saturday morning in the area of Glastonbury Place, just off of Route 2. Now, police in Middletown say they found that stolen car later in the day and followed it into Rocky Hill. When the suspects tried to flee, police say the suspects crashed into another car during the chase, and that's when the suspects fled on foot. And a short time later, police caught both of those suspects. Right now, no word yet on their identities or if they have any involvement with the original carjacking. And Waterbury police have charged a woman with arson in connection with a fire that destroyed a home on Grove Court. Police arrested Nicole Abram and charged her with arson and reckless endangerment. Police say the home on Grove Court now a total loss. You can see those pictures there, and we know that 4 people were inside the home when the fire started. Thankfully, no one was injured. We know the suspect is scheduled to return to court October 10th. And due to severe weather this week, the planned lane expansion on I-84 in Waterbury is now postponed. We told you that the DOT planned to open a new 3rd westbound lane on I-84 Friday night. Well, we checked in for you with the DOT. They tell us because crews were behind on some final touches, the lane expansion likely won't happen until tomorrow. The good news here, the entire widening project is still on track to be completed 1 year ahead of schedule. And still to come, Facebook still dealing with a major data breach affecting millions of users. See how you can protect your personal information. And plus, we'll bring you the latest from Indonesia, where an earthquake causes a tsunami, leaving hundreds dead and hundreds more injured. We are now learning the massive Facebook data breach affecting millions took place on Tuesday, even though Facebook notified users on Friday. The scary part here, Facebook says they are still looking into what information the hackers took. Fox 61's Carmen Chow talked to a cybersecurity expert for tips on how you can protect your account.
Millions of Facebook users were logged out of their accounts on Friday. The social media giant says this was one of its largest security breaches.
Facebook, what started out as a website used for networking, quickly turned into one of the most influential social media platforms. Many of us guilty for constantly scrolling through our newsfeed or posting pictures of the most recent wedding we attended. But what if one day you were suddenly locked out of your account because someone else was controlling it? Well, that's exactly what happened to 50 million users, with another 40 million potentially impacted.
In the scope of it, ironically, 50 million sounds like a big number, but Facebook has over 2 billion accounts, so percentage-wise, it's pretty small.
Tim Weber, director of security services, says hackers know exactly what they're doing.
And in the end, it's all about money. You know, all of these cyber attacks are financially based in one way, shape, or form or another. So whether it's identity theft or using this information for additional attacks.
Weber says the hackers took advantage of a security flaw and were able to access the accounts. One of those accounts, Mark Zuckerberg himself.
There are no shortage of attacks. There's no shortage of things that are going on every single day. One of the things that we do recommend to folks is in addition to using a password, if you turn on things such as 2-factor authentication.
The best way to make sure you're not a victim is to follow these 3 easy steps. Number 1, change your password. Number 2, if you use your account to log into other sites like Spotify or Instagram, create a different username and a password for each instead. And lastly, turn on what's called a 2-factor authentication, where you will be asked to choose either text message codes or a third-party authentication as your primary security method. So the next time you log into Facebook, you might want to take the time to delete some of the more personal information you've shared to reduce your risk of exposure in future attacks.
According to Facebook, the issue has been fixed, and they are still working to find out who these hackers are and if specific people were targeted. Reporting in the newsroom, Carmen Chow, Fox 61 News.
7:16 right now. A tsunami caused by an earthquake leaves several hundred people dead on the central Indonesia island area. The 7.5 magnitude earthquake hit Friday, and rescue workers are still searching for survivors. The tsunami sweeping away buildings and people and leaving much destruction behind. A disaster agency spokesman says more than 380 people died in the city of Palu alone, and over 500 others injured. Communications in the area are so difficult, and that is because of power and telecommunications were out. Now, officials say they fear the death toll will climb in the coming days. And to more weather, Japan also seeing some dangerous weather. Typhoon Trami hit Japan's mainland this weekend, bringing heavy rain. You can actually hear that rain and wind. Trami's arrival comes at the end of a summer of disasters that have hit the country, including flooding and heat waves causing multiple deaths throughout the summer. And 7:17 right now, closer to home right now, we do want to give you a check of your forecast on this Sunday morning. Tim Levine standing by at the weather wall. Tim, I saw some fog earlier. Is it going to linger for the rest of the morning?
Yeah, at least until around 8 or 9 o'clock. At this point, the sunshine, once the sun gets out, we'll be seeing things begin to warm up a little bit, and we'll eventually see that fog begin to dissipate. Lots of dry air in place, very low dew points, so we've seen temperatures cool off significantly this morning, and that's one of the main reasons for that morning fog. Temperatures cooled off so well that they got very close to the dew point. Now we're starting to see that fog, especially in areas where you have a lot of moisture content, and that's pretty much anything rural with all the rainfall that we've received. We have very soggy ground out there, and now we're transporting a lot of that moisture back into the atmosphere in the form of fog. Showers across the area on Monday, so we keep the sogginess all the way through into midweek. A fall feel after that as a frontal boundary moves through on Wednesday, which will also, unfortunately, bring a little bit more rain. Lots of fog in Danbury, very dense fog in Danbury at the moment, so heading up the I-84 corridor towards New Haven County, probably going to be a bit of a slow go this morning. Fog has improved a little bit, or at least visibility has improved a little bit in Meriden, and also seeing a slight improvement up into the northeastern corner of the state. Other than that, though, we're all quiet for now. I expect to see at least a little bit more fog before all is said and done. Very, very cool temperatures this morning in Stafford, 42 degrees. That's coming in from our friend Jeff in Staffordville. 44 in Winsted, 45 in Litchfield. A little bit warmer down towards the shoreline in Chester, New Haven, and Groton in the 50s, but we're pretty close to seeing some 40s on the shoreline as well. 53 in Bridgeport. That's the real warm spot across the area. And of course, the Long Island Sound cooling down pretty quickly with all the cool weather we've had right now. 52-degree temps in the Sound, so a little chilly if you wanted to go swimming. I don't think anybody really does at this point. Northerly winds keeping everything cool as we see that cool breeze emanating from high pressure well off to our north and west. That's going to shift eastward over the next day or so, and we're eventually going to see this cloud that you see here eventually begin to overspread most of the region. That's associated with a storm system that has a frontal boundary that's going to be draped across our area heading into Monday. That'll bring those showers I mentioned earlier. Also keeping an eye on the tropics, not because of a storm that's going to be affecting us, but because of a storm that just seems to not want to go away. This is Tropical Storm Leslie. It was a subtropical storm yesterday, now has acquired fully tropical characteristics. Still 50-mile-per-hour winds, forecast to become a hurricane, something we'll be watching pretty closely. Also is the potential for big waves across ocean-facing beaches at this point. Leslie moves southward, eventually works its way towards Bermuda. Unfortunately for them, they see quite a bit of wave action from this, and also large swells will eventually be emanating. And this is all from when Leslie was a non-tropical low, so we very well could see some bigger waves along the ocean-facing beaches near Groton heading over into Rhode Island over the next couple of days. We'll be watching that pretty closely as Leslie begins its re-intensification process to a hurricane over the next 5 days. For us, beautiful weather today, upper 60s, maybe a couple 70s in there, especially in the valley. We're going to be seeing high pressure keeping things very, very nice. Lots of sunshine, and with all of that sunshine comes big swings in temp when you have dry air like this. And then heading into Monday, we see things begin to get a little more unsettled. A lot more cloud, a little bit of rainfall, especially heading into the morning on Monday. By the afternoon, we're dealing with a few showers as that front drapes itself across the area, and it sticks around all the way through into the evening and the overnight hours. After that, we see more rainfall associated with a new storm system. Same front, new storm along it, and we start to see all of that heavier rain coming in for Tuesday into Tuesday evening. This is a little quicker than yesterday's forecast, where Wednesday was really the day where we saw a lot of that activity. So we shifted everything up just a little bit. And now Tuesday and Wednesday, the two trouble spots in our 7-day forecast in terms of rainfall. Also that chance of showers on Monday. Shoreline looking a little bit warmer thanks to that front staying just a little bit to the north, and that'll keep them on the warmer side of the front. Still though, rainfall throughout midweek, weekend looking nice. Aisha?
And as you just heard Tim say, the weather this weekend is looking good, but that was not the case last week when heavy rain came through causing massive damage. We take a look at the cleanup efforts coming up next. .25 right now. The search continues for a missing man whose truck went into the Housatonic River last week. They are still looking for 60-year-old German Perez from Ashley Falls, Massachusetts, after he went missing on Tuesday. Fox 61, the only station there when the truck was pulled from the river Wednesday, but Perez wasn't in it. The river was running at 10 feet above its normal stage because of all the flooding this past week, which is making the search much more difficult. And flood water caused major problems in East Haddam last week after severe weather dumped several inches of rain in our state. Fox 61's Keith McGilvery takes a look at the aftermath in East Haddam.
What looks like a washed-out abandoned beach was once Dennis Carlson's front lawn and hydrangea gardens.
We love being next to the rivers, which have now made us very upset.
When Carlson woke up to see the power of Tuesday's storm, the artist and painter found that his cars floated off in floodwater and crashed into each other. His shed was sent across the yard, and his personal belongings were wrapped around trees.
When I came out here in daylight and saw it, it's like, I don't even know what rock to begin picking up. It's just a total disaster here.
Nearly 8 inches of rain forced the nearby Neptune Brook to blow its banks, taking out the bridge above, sending thousands of pounds of pavement and never-ending water onto Carlson's property. Sarah Casenti and her family live just yards away from the now toppled bridge. She crossed just minutes before it gave way.
I did not know it was this bad at all. It was just crazy, honestly.
Back at Carlson's place, he's left wondering what happened to the sculptures he'd crafted over decades.
They're gone. I don't know where they are. If they're buried under mud or if they've washed into the Connecticut River. I don't know what happened to half the stuff that was on this property, but all the things that I